strong from the FlyQuest side. LeBlanc, though, you're seeing is that red side ban. The Rengar following up, so EnVy still doing some very similar bans. You'd expect the patch didn't change at all.
Yeah, actually. I mean, a lot of teams have dropped a little bit down on their priority on the Rengar, especially after the nerfs there. The LeBlanc still definitely super high up there. Varus is really the new one to emerge, and we find him as a almost permanent fixture. Either pick ban in the first phase.
Yeah, in the about 25, 26-ish games we've had so far in 7.4, which is NA, EU, LCS, and Challenger, only LeBlanc and Varus are 100% pick ban. Other champions have been left out. We've seen no Camille champ select, no Rengar champ select, and things like this. Graves, though, the king of the jungle with Rengar off, and no surprise here, going to be grabbed up very quickly by Moon, and you can carry on that.
And we talk about, oh yeah, they have prepared all these specific, Shaco, or he tried to do the Kindred, or try to do all the Nidalee even really early on. But just go to the gold standard here. To me, Graves is actually the strongest jungle champion right now. There is a little bit of debate.
I'm on your side, though.
Jat feels Ivern. Some people still are really in love with the Rengar. Kha'Zix nerfs definitely were quite big, actually, to his DPS. So I still feel like Kha'Zix is tier 1, just not S tier anymore. So this is a fine answer to me, because you don't want your jungle to get pushed down further. Usually, though, we'll wait to see that match, the lane match right there to the third pick. But they want to jump on it early here. And this Malzahar is definitely flexible.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Ninja can play it in the mid lane, absolutely.
And that's actually something they flex very heavily with the mid lane and support. Last split, it was the Karma they kept on moving around, but definitely could throw a little wrench into the pick bans here. As a FlyQuest, though, it's just pretty standard straight down the board here. We get to see Balls on the Rumble again. Yep. One of his most famed champions, although hasn't had quite the original performances that we saw out of him.
Sure. Yeah, they're not going to be 25-3 this season by any means. But High, grabbing the Zed for himself, high priority on this assassin mid laner. It is one of the champs he's made, spent a lot of his competitive career on. He's certainly a very strong champion overall, and it's going to be a counterpick Renekton into Rumble. So interesting champ select here. No mid laner grab for EnVy, we assume, and no support grab for FlyQuest. Otherwise, mirrored roles in the top and jungle.
Yeah, interesting. We get to see if Seraph will try and jump up to the Hex Drinker, or if he actually... I keep on, every time we see a Renekton, and it's actually popped up a decent amount, I keep trying to hype up the lethality build that was bouncing around in solo queue quite a lot.
None of it in
but
pro.
even Ray didn't do that. So if Ray's not going to do it, I don't think anybody's going to do it. So it'll probably be the more standard Renekton. Yeah. Bit Bruiser, Black Cleaver and whatnot.
Well, for the hope of seeing it, there are no tanks in the FlyQuest lineup, unless they're going to run a Braum down here for Lemonnation. It's squishy, squishy, squishy so far. We know Altec's going to be squishy as well. So at least if you were going to go lethality, this is the game for it. So I'll keep the hope alive for you, Kobe. We'll see what comes through. Silver ban off the table. Karma Lulu dropped off as well, which really leads us to believe EnVy's going to stick with that Malzahar in the support role. The FlyQuest aren't banning any mid laners, so Ninja kind of gets his pick of the litter for what he wants to play mid.
Yeah, I mean, there's a tremendous amount with just the Rise and LeBlanc, though, cutting down on the top tier. I think they do feel fine. Interesting, Ziggs ban here to try and block out the AP from bottom side.
I think they're trying to make Team EnVy play a full AD comp aside from the Malzahar, because Jace is still left up. We know Ninja's happy to play that champion. We know it's very strong as well. And it's like, okay, well, a Ziggs bot would give you some damage profile, but that's been blocked off here, and Apollo gets to take a very late
Hey! They locked it in!
Wow, they're playing Mordekaiser! This is awesome! Mordekaiser, Nautilus bottom lane. FlyQuest bringing out the awesome things.
Yes, we got a kill bottom lane here from FlyQuest, bringing back the Mordekaiser. I was about to start prepping up the crowd control that you would want to add to this FlyQuest lineup when you're talking about how squishy they are, Phreak. But they've got 2 tanks in the bottom lane now. Mordekaiser semi-tank at least. But honestly, super excited to see the way that this does change it, because dragon control becomes so much more important with this. And FlyQuest, when you have pushing lanes like this, and you have threatening lanes, that really does help out with controlling the dragon when you have a Graves and trying to get that early dragon ghost for your Mordekaiser on the bottom side. We would expect Moon actually to try and play around bottom side here, but again, you've got this matchup on top side where Seraph's going to try and go aggressive with his counter pick Renekton. So I'm very, very curious actually to see the jungle path for this squad and how they actually try and prioritize, if they even do look for, you know, early dragon ghosts.
Sure. Yeah, you're gonna assume that they want to get that and start getting the pressure in. But this is an interesting game. It's, yeah, Zed versus Talon in the mid lane. I mean, this is just so many cool things in this game.
And this is one of the matchups that has for so long been a lot of people's favorite matchups for the mid lane. These double melee, double assassins in the mid lane, because you get to see the attempted outplays with the different ultimates and who is able to hold onto their ultimate longer to try and negate the opponent's ultimate.
Sure.
And dodge out most of the damage. I do like Talon in this matchup, and even though it is you know, skill-based matchup here, I give a slight edge over to the Talon. I'm curious to see how Ninja will perform on it, though, as I don't think that we have had a Talon in the North American LCS this split.
I don't believe it. It's going to be the first Talon in North America. We do believe is here we go into the game. FlyQuest sitting in around 3rd place. Team EnVy, unfortunately, in 10th, but we know that EnVy are climbing up. I've heard several players say this team is better than you think. They are not a 10th place team. This squad looks good in scrims. They're looking better overall. But all I can really say is we've got a Mordekaiser's bot lane, and I can't stop being excited about that.
This is why we said we were excited for the champion select of this matchup, Phreak. Get a Mordekaiser bottom lane and a Talon in the mid.
Double relic shield.
Yeah.
Lemon's going to be rich.
Right, okay. So for the Mordekaiser bottom lane, you get a lot of sustain out of those double relics, as well as his W, but you still, to me, anytime I see that sort of lane, would think that there would be some extra jungle shenanigans ending on that side of the map. We'll see if they fight over Scuttle Crab super early as well, because when you're in this sort of situation, it is optimal to try and get down there to get the bottom Scuttle Crab. Some people will even rush to a level 2 one. Neither of these junglers, though, have a way to take off the armor of the Scuttle Crab with any sort of CC. So level 2 with either isolated Qs or just straight up Graves damage might be an option there.
This looks like it's going to be starting W, and they're going to AoE this camp down together. Should be pretty easy for them to take down Raptors, to be honest.
And they've got an invade on the other side. So yeah. Raptor camp is the starting camp for most junglers right now, because you get that extra little bonus experience and it really fills in the holes of most of it. They split here.
Yeah, I mean, good smite by LirA to grab the big one.
But now he doesn't have smite for the buff. So smiting the big one means you're 100% giving up to this invade of your red buff, and Moon should be able to easily take this one away. That's why they're not trying to stick around here, not trying to waste any time contesting this. They made that decision early on to grab the Raptor with his smite rather than stick around and try and contest, because Graves and Rumble, very, very powerful in the early level, and even if you hadn't used your smite there, you wouldn't be able to contest afterwards. So at least trying to get something out of it and get Kha'Zix to level 2 so he can at least try and clear out the blue quadrant side.
There's several things that are smart about the FlyQuest bot lane start where they went to the Raptors early on. One of the major ones is the fact that they're in a melee versus range matchup in the first place. Like, you don't get lane priority anyway. You're gonna be pushed in, so you don't need to fight for lane control. You're gonna be under turret. Go ahead and spend some time killing Raptors, because you're not going to be in lane anyway. And
by the way, they only take all the small Raptors. They didn't waste time there.
Yeah.
The small Raptors, you can kill them very quickly. All of those are a large portion of the experience, especially since neither of them have a jungle item. So that deprioritizes sticking around to kill the main chicken. And they are able to get out of there very quickly with just the AoE explosion. That does mean that Moon's eventually going to have to clean up the large Raptor that's left in there, but it looks like they might have to clean up the LirA that's invading on their red side here.
Yeah, they're going to try Lemonnation walking over for this one and spots them. They've got wards on both sides. Voidling spawn up, and actually they're getting multiplied here with the attacks onto the Nautilus, but it looks like it should be okay now. Voidling, good smite by LirA. Well played getting over on that one. That was nice. Another chase in for Ninja. Does he parkour this wall? Yes, onto Moon. Hooked back in, down to 2/3 HP, but FlyQuest pushed out of their jungle. The buff steal
we're still
back.
Continuing here, because High now is coming down.
And Ninja gonna jump right back away. Now it's LirA at 200 HP, jumps right back over, has the leap available, and High's burning of summoners. Moon's flash means nothing.
Balls has completed his teleport, so that means Seraph up on the top side. He actually could keep it here right in the middle of the lane. We'll see if, get this one to bounce back to the middle of the lane,
It looks like it will, actually.
And it could put balls in a very bad situation here. Seraph already was up on CS.
I actually disagree with Seraph pushing this wave, by the way, unless he's like trying to get a specific item break point. If he AFKs and just recalls right now and just grabs items, this wave will freeze towards him, and it will deny more farm from balls. He'll have missed pretty much most of this wave right here.
But he's going for the rush on the wave and going for a comeback. Let's see how much gold.
He's at 900 now, so he can't even afford teammate anyway. But here we go, engage onto Apollo. Exhaust is in there, Ignite is in there as well, but the flash keeps him safe on this one. Now Altec Lemon forced to run away, and you can see what a double range lane can do. As long as you don't get all in, you can get a lot of damage in the trade back, as Apollo will survive with his health potions.
Yeah, plus, you know, Altec and Lemonnation are having to give up a little bit of CS as they don't want to get harassed super heavily. So the range duo should have a higher CS count here in this. We'll wait and see what happens when junglers start to come down here. But as of right now, yes, they're going to take a small hit there.
Yeah. And it's worth pointing out for those tracking at home who's winning the bot lane, it's hard to tell because when you last hit with Relic Shield, both you and your teammate get the CS. So, like, there weren't actually 41 individual minion kills in the bot lane for FlyQuest total. Yeah. But I also don't know how many Lemonnation is actually straight up stole by himself, just by outlast hitting his own teammate without the Relic Shield on. So I don't know if it's, like, actually 48 or if it's, like, 35 and, like, 3 steals. Like, it's hard to tell.
When there is an extra Relic Shield, it does get a little bit dicey, counting which one to do. But we do have Balls meeting back up with Seraph, and he is level 5 even after that teleport, so it wasn't so bad for him. Pretty much all Seraph got out there was actually a super aggressive extra Doran's Blade recall.
Yeah,
on this.
Got to shove the cannon wave in, but it's Cloth Armor, Ruby Crystal, or sorry, Cloth Armor and the Amp Tome, so the makings of an early Arm Guard, which is no surprise, but looks like it'll be the Cleaver Star for Seraph most likely, maybe Titanic Hydra. We'll see which one he goes for.
Yeah,
Jarvan's Fist is good regardless.
A couple of the CS also for balls are the crabs. I think he killed 2 of the Malzahar Voidlings. Yeah,
Voidlings don't count, so that's actually not going to inflame.
Oh, okay.
Zyra plans to, but I think she's the only conventional bot laner that gives you CS. I think Heimer would count, but no one plays him down there, so.
Should be fine then.
Yeah.
As he's going to get to his level 6 a little bit after, but since he's farming at a turret, won't be an issue.
Yeah, he's level 6 under the turret.
Let's return to this bottom side, because there's been so much envy effort in, placing down these wards inside the red quadrant of FlyQuest jungle as well. It looks like they are going to, keep focus on this side, especially since it's an Infernal Drake and there's a Mordekaiser on the map.
Yeah.
The importance of this first Drake is enormous. Because once you get a first Drake, you can get that power with your Ghost Drake.
Yeah.
Does a really good job of tanking it, and obviously Infernal, super high priority.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a really big deal onto Altec. He's got so much base attack damage that he's actually getting a lot of stats out of it. Lemmonnation's Q hits the Hakuho passive, it doesn't mean very much, and they just hit some AoEs to get rid of the Voidlings. It is nice to see that it's pretty easy to kill off the Voidlings. That feels kind of good, but
yeah,
still getting pushed in for the most part. 400 gold lead right now for Team EnVy overall is looks like FlyQuest's going to get to through this out.
And they do have to worry about, the prepping of the level 6, because while hooking into Malzahar currently doesn't matter too much for Nautilus, it's a really good way to get off the spell shield, then you can auto attack him for a snare, then you can also be able to land your ultimate along with Mordekaiser's deceptively high level 6 damage.
Ooh, well, it's going to be enough to kill off Lemonnation. Altec can't tank all these shots. He'll die. He flashes and gets the double kill. That was a catastrophe for FlyQuest, but a nice 2 kills in for EnVy. Capitalizing off Lemonnation, playing way too aggressively.
Oh man, I guess we'll wait for a replay though, but there are so many things that FlyQuest did super greedy play right there. Meanwhile in the mid lane, actually, High getting a good trade on the Ninja.
Gonna force Ninja's ult out. Guesses on the Q, guesses wrong, and does almost no damage. But now Moon's here. Ninja has no easy way out. Ignite is on both these players. High actually goes down to LirA. The gank's going better for Team EnVy, and he's still looking for more. Moon running away, has to flash.
Seraph
has big loss for FlyQuest.
See if they actually try and pressure this turret or just push the minion wave in and back off. Guess they are going to reset after that one. Such a big snowball here for EnVy though. And as we said, pre-game, they have had a lot of very impressive early games. They've been able to accrue gold leads in quite a few of their early season matches. It's just that they haven't been able to transition that into a very good late game for Team EnVy. But let's take another look at this, because they really wanted to push this wave into the turret so it didn't get frozen on them. But the turnaround damage of the Malzahar on these Pele's is insane. And then the flash away here from Altec, not only does it kill Lemonnation, it wastes his extra summoner spell, and he still dies to the crabs, and they're gonna get a return gank here. LirA's coming back down.
Now, so far, Lemon saves his ulti. Actually figured he was safe. He didn't have to burn that cooldown onto LirA or someone else, so at least they survive, but it's getting pretty bad now. FlyQuest bot lane getting behind on this.
All right. Everybody on the side of the, or 77% at least on the side of the Mordekaiser here. Rooting for the kill bottom lane. Currently, pretty nice lead for EnVy in the early game. And definitely control of that bottom side.
I think FlyQuest do potentially outscale. The thing is, it's a very physical damage heavy lineup for Team EnVy. There's already 5 Ninja Tabbies already picked up now for FlyQuest. I was wondering when it would take. All 5 have already completed the item. This is absolutely the right choice. When you have a bunch of lethality stackers, flat armor is hugely valuable. The rough math is you take 20% less damage just by buying Ninja Tabby. That's huge.
Yeah, exactly. It's such a good point. Not just that it's a AD heavy team, but it's a lethality AD heavy team.
Yeah.
So it just, the value out of the early armor purchases is actually insane.
Exactly.
Even with the extra gold here, you need a lot of extra gold to overcome the value that FlyQuest are getting out of their gold spent. And Team EnVy, though, we'll see what they can do, because they also have vision control to work with at the moment. And while you can go over items and efficiency all you want, if it's 4 versus 1, then a couple of items don't make too much of a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see if FlyQuest can start catching up into this one as we watch out what else is going on. Seraph does have pretty good control of the top side of the map. He's got a 20 minion lead. He gets a very deep ward that can watch whenever the Raptors get grabbed, or sorry, the Wolves. So Moon will be spotted easily now.
High.
The mid lane dive. LirA's here as well. The flash to land the stun. The rest of the spell's going to go in, and just the simple 2v1. And here comes the counter engage. They get the hook back onto Apollo. The damage output should be there, and yes, they've got a Ghost of Jhin, so here's the chase on a Hakuho.
Look at the bottom, though. They're all swarming down the map right now to try and collapse. Yeah, bottom can't chase any further because EnVy just had a successful play on mid. It's always super risky to then make a play in one of the side lanes after your mid just gets annihilated like that, because you know they can swing down and rotate from their successful mid play to try and quickly cover. So that's why it was very important that FlyQuest pulled off that kill in a very quick fashion without a lot of health loss in the process. And then they back off here. It's just because of that successful dive mid that FlyQuest aren't able to chain this bottom success into the Infernal Drake, which is very important for EnVy. So yeah, good preemptive move there as they were able to get the dive onto High, who, by the way, had Flash here. It wasn't even like he had burned Flash in the last play where they killed him, but it didn't matter since Seraph can easily answer there with his targeted stun right after. But okay, so the plays were going on at exactly the same time, and it's good communication from FlyQuest here to call off on this dive, because if the successful dive mid hadn't happened, they probably would have made the call there to continue on and either push him off the turret and get first turret or chase him down for the kill. Not going to be the case, though, as a bit of gold is traded there from both teams.
And High actually getting pushed away from the support. Malzahar. Champion is obviously still pretty valuable and still pretty good.
The one champion on the enemy team where your Ninja Tabby aren't providing you a ton of defenses.
Yeah, they'll block half of the Voidling damage, and then everything else is still going to do full. So Hakuho, it's up to you to carry, buddy. You do magic damage. Let's see the Leandries. I'm being a bit hyperbolic here, but we'll see what comes out from him. Sightstone's already done. Lemonnation now has his. He's buying even more armor, so it's going to be, the race of armor stacking, and can FlyQuest out-tank the EnVy squad, who's still holding on to a 1,600 gold lead. It is one that you can come back from. It's not too big. Yeah. And we'll wait for the mid-game shot calling to really start kicking in.
The other thing to keep track of, since there is going to be so much armor stacking, is the race of Black Cleavers, as well as when do the Last Whispers come in? Right. With that, only bonus armor penetration, those actually might have pretty decent value in this game.
Absolutely, yeah. Last Whisper itself is very efficient now. It's much better against builds like this where everyone's got at least 30 bonus armor, and in many cases much more. Ooh! Voidling blocks Lemonnation Q. Now the entry back in, Apollo wants to get a bit of damage here, and there's the ulti in as well from Hakuho. A lot of burst damage. Lemon's gonna flash over the wall, stays safe. Talon can't quite assassinate, but Ninja gets a lot of damage. And the deadly flourish now into the backside high, finds out the opposing support and gets the kill. 2-4 in this one. Ninja gonna be stunned up by Lemonnation. They go back in for more. High on the other side of this one, but they do get the trade. The 1-for-1, both mid laners dying, and now the flash chase and bong! Altec takes him down, exhaust for a bit more. Apollo, his days might be numbered, running away, and we'll see.
Drake.
Houston, we have a problem. Apollo alone under the turret, gonna take way too much damage, and there we go. The air seal is broken, 5-5 in kills. FlyQuest catching back up in this game.
Ghost with the last hit there for the kill. Now they're gonna be able to go get the Infernal plus Ghost Dragon that we've been hyping up for 10 minutes here.
And finally they get it.
We'll get to see what they do with it though, because they're so low life, they can't go push right after they get it, and they're gonna have to recall anyways. They might not even be able to get much value out of it besides, yeah, we got an Infernal Drake, which is insane right there.
Still good, yeah.
But they might not be getting too much extra out of it, and it might just be a little bit of a nuisance here for EnVy to have to deal with.
Look at that dank micro,
we'll
though.
see. Hey, he's sending it mid lane. They might actually just get some pressure there. Help out High to get his minion wave pushed up. High is getting beaten pretty decently in CS by Ninja with the counter pick. It would be nice to get him a little bit of help, but here we go again. The open up on the Nautilus. Both ultimates are going to be used on him. The important part is Moon gets a lot of damage dealt while Hakuho is channeling that ult, and High comes in from the backside for the assassination here. People pick off one and then keep track of his shadow. Like the decision here to go try and, even though he was pincered and was going to probably be forced down under that turret, goes in there for the extra pressure onto the... Oh, another fight is breaking out, actually.
Same play as the last time. Ult coming back in, a lot of damage. Lemmonnation's going to go down right away. Seraph with kill credit. And now Altec alone under the turret, going to chase Moon away.
EnVy's got everyone here!
Yeah, everyone's got everyone. EnVy's got everyone here. Quick 2 for 0, not even a problem for them. And okay, they're going back into this game. First turret still has not been taken. High going to race the EnVy quad group, and that's not going to matter. Here we go. First turret goes down in the bot lane. The party for Team EnVy works out. Balls was unable to join. He did not have teleport available. Seraph did, and that's what turned it around, really.
Successful double kill there for Team EnVy. Plus, they've been able to defend at least mid. Let me check in on the top health. It's getting pretty low. The top turret health is going to be dicey. The next minion wave will arrive very shortly.
He's fine. He can take a shot if he needs to.
And Seraph here won't have his teleport. Won't matter too much.
Yeah. It's worth pointing out, we are on 7.4. First turret gold is now 300 gold instead of 400.
And it's all local.
Yeah, and it's all local, so, you know, that means something. But, yeah, overall 100 less gold is what this meant than it used to, so not as bad for FlyQuest. Of course, it is still Team EnVy who are leading, but I'm just still afraid of the fact that they are 4 AD and there's 5 Ninja Tabbies. I think it does make it difficult to continue to do well.
And the Infernal Drake. So you can't just look at gold when you're looking at, you know, where the teams are right now, right? You know, who's winning this game. Definitely going to have a lot of things to worry about there as we do progress for Team EnVy. But they've been remaining proactive.
Yeah.
If they had not been able to, you know, push for the extra objective of the first turret gold, and convert those kills on bottom side, it might be looking a little bit worse, but we'll see where FlyQuest are going to go next, because the mid turret is super low. The only problem is, if you are running a Mordekaiser duo lane and you don't have, you know, some Ezreal jungler or something, it becomes difficult to siege up, right? Yeah. You don't actually have long range damage. If you're sieging up at a turret, you're looking at Rumble ulting and either diving or completely zoning them off the turret. There's no like chip damage that's going to come through.
No. You hope you get a Drake and you hope you get a turret. Ball's dead, by the way. No chance to get away from this one. Nice rotation. EnVy remaining proactive. They're finding those kills. And hey, good for FlyQuest. They took down mid outer turret. They put the pressure there, but we expect top outer to be traded at this point. Seraph's got alone time. Blue buff steal as well is good stuff. And Team EnVy going to be 3.5k up at this point. 2.5k. Sorry, I'll actually do math properly. Is turret. And he's letting the wave die. And there we go. 2,500.
Yeah, nice little sneaky move there from EnVy. Plenty of wards up on the blue quadrant as well, but FlyQuest are going to answer on EnVy's weak side of the map. Let's see if Ninja can give him a run.
Ninja goes for the ult, gets it away. Actually, nice shot by Boone, lands the Q.
And actually, Altec was trying to circle in around Ninja, but now he's alone.
He is very alone. Gets some teammates back. Quick stun chain on a Ninja. No way out for the Talon. Turns out it was a bait. They bamboozled him.
Who is hunting who here, Phreak?
I don't know. Everyone's hunting everybody. It's crazy. But FlyQuest do get the kill out of this one. And Altec just set up the bait. So Ninja Tappy into Rylays, and now another fight in the mid lane. Lemonnation getting pushed a little bit back. He's going to kite away. He's going to flatten out Seraph. Getting away from some of it, but Altec still gets the bonk, gets the kill, his fourth of the game. LirA forced to run out as well, but Balls is on the chase. He's looking still for Apollo, can't land that next slow, and he's not going to get any more out of this. But high on the side of the map, takes down Hakuho, so another team fight win. FlyQuest tie up the kills and the gold with only 1,000.
Yeah, and Baron spawning in a few seconds. You know, pretty shortly, we're going to have bigger rewards for all these team fights that are breaking out. No longer are they just going to be kills traded over and small amounts of gold being traded, but there are some weighty objectives coming up pretty shortly here, especially with most of the outer turrets going down. We're going to open up a lot of space for continued chases as well.
Yeah.
And we just saw a really good example in that last little fight where Team EnVy overcommit a little bit into the Rumble. But this was the first crazy one where FlyQuest are the ones who split up a little bit too much to try and pincer Ninja. But then Ninja comes back in to make a pincer of their own as Team EnVy try and collapse on Altec, and it ends up backfiring there as High was able to find that kill. Here's the one where they kite back into the Rumble ultimate, and Balls with nice Rumble ultimate on the ramp there. Means that Seraph has no backup, and the rest of EnVy had to get out of there. Balls zoning off pretty much everybody and getting a bunch of summoners there.
Yeah, but on the backside, it's still Team EnVy holding this 1,500 gold lead. I want to talk about the Mordekaiser some more, because I'm sure it's new for many of us. For those who want to try it at home, some of you maybe already queued up in a solo queue and playing it. It was, of course, Ninja Tappy Rush. He's maxing W for the landing phase, more sustain. We'll talk about that in a bit, because High just gets blasted by LirA. Those nerfs didn't mean much to him in this case. LirA heavily winning the 1v1. That's map control in the bot lane. All right.
Power, baby.
So back on Mordekaiser. Max W for the landing phase. You're usually against ranged champions. You need sustain. Ranking up W gives you sustain. It gives you more shield generation via the damage. That helps you stay alive. Maxing Q second is easily the best choice from that point, because it's where all your damage comes from. So as you transition later on in the game, you get some levels.
Where we get the big bonks from?
Yeah, it's where you get the big bonks from. It does like 800 damage, something stupid. It's pretty scary. And he's going into an early QSS to deal with Hakuho, and then he's getting the Gunblade after Rylays. So it adds some slows to his kit, the Rylays and the Gunblade both. And Spell Vamp just tends to be great because he has all these health costs on his skills, so he stays full HP all the time. And that's kind of the build you're looking for. And I think that in general, you're always looking at things like this. He doesn't need to go for like a greedy boot. You don't need Sork shoes. You just need to kind of sustain throughout the mid of the team fight, and you'll do enough overall.
Yeah, and meanwhile, on Team EnVy's side, LirA is the one with most of the power right now. Not only was he able to solo kill High there, that was his 6th kill credit, and he is pretty much hitting the spike right now. From this point on, it's going to get more and more difficult for him because more armor is already being stacked on FlyQuest's side, and it becomes much harder to assassinate people when FlyQuest start to group up like this. We're transitioning more towards the team fighting and grouping phase, where even if you find a skirmish, there's probably going to be at least someone from the MET joining, and the isolated kills there are going to be much harder to come by. So Team EnVy are now going to start facing the real issues here with their triple lethality and quad attack damage squad here. They do have one Black Cleaver on the front line. Seraph is going to try and give a little bit of shred to help out with the lethality builds.
He's got Sunfire, so helps a little bit. He's got the ulti, does magic damage, like it's kind of there.
But as we've said, it's super difficult for EnVy to jump into this FlyQuest squad because you're jumping into all these short-range melee champions that want to be there anyways, plus a Rumble ultimate, which makes it very hard for Seraph to navigate. So if he goes in for Black Cleaver Shred on the whole team, he's going to die for it. And it's just a matter of, is it worth it, and can he get enough of those stacks down while sacrificing his life for the actual lethality damage dealers to be able to pick anyone off and start chaining those kills.
Let's see what's going to happen. We'll see the team fights actually end up shaping up right now. Drake off the map. Of course, EnVy took the most recent one, and see if FlyQuest can find more things to do.
being able to get Ninja to his Black Cleaver as well should help out quite a lot. Because Talon wants to open up with his AoE anyway.
Just managed to pick it up. They're running forward on this one. The flash, the sun's going to land for Seraph. The follow-through is going to be there. An equalizer doesn't do any such thing. Maybe the hook will, though. Ninja running out of HP, but he's fast enough off the ultimate. Now the re-engage, the counter-engage back on Elimination. Nethergrasp is there, and the way too much damage to deal with for a support tank. 2 for 0.
So Envy very happily get another isolated kill. They pick off balls, and not only that, FlyQuest trying to make something out of that, actually hand over another kill. This is just what Envy needed. More of these pick off and isolated kills so they can try and really utilize this vision control that they've had for quite a while, but haven't really been able to transition into super big objectives. Yeah, they did get the Mountain Drake, but that doesn't really crack open the game, and they're looking to turn that Mountain Drake into either more Baron pressure. Oh, actually,
3v5 high diving the turret. Whew, almost kills him off, actually.
He used Ignite for that as well. Doesn't quite get him. Thunderlords did go off at the very end to get him pretty close, but didn't quite get it.
Yeah, but this is the, we talked about it in pregame, this sort of high risk, high reward shot calling from FlyQuest. High specifically, it's like, this is 3v5. Your top lane or your top lane and support were dead. And he's like, yeah, we're going to siege mid, I'm going to tower dive somebody. That's high in a nutshell.
Is it really that high of a reward if you kill the support under his own turret after they have all their lanes pushed up anyway, though?
No. It's 300 gold, though.
Yeah.
Makes your stats look good because he's 2-4.
And it would give them some time to try and fight that vision fight that we're talking about, to try and clean it up and maybe remove some more of the opportunities that Envy have had for these pick-off kills.
And we'll see, but it has been Envy who have been playing the map better. And for a 10th place team, you know, low in 10th right now, the fact that they're playing the map better than the 3rd place team is heartening, that Envy are a better team than their record suggests.
And we continually keep referencing their gold numbers in early game hasn't been the big issue for them. It has been once you drop all the outer turrets, once the Baron is on the map, and the rotations start to come into play, that they really started to struggle. Here we go, though.
Yep, coming into play is Seraph hooked into the team, jumping over the wall, running away right into Altec, and he's going to drop his life first. Hakuho is next up. The Equalizer just stymied the engage. Ninja now here to re-engage, looking for a big ulti. Some decent damage, but Lemonnation walks in, face tanks the curtain call, and is just that for Envy. Looking for a bit more, actually. A heavy engage, and Seraph's ghost is going to die for it. Doesn't matter, but it's Ninja getting him a third kill.
I think Ninja was on the same page as the rest of the squad with that little bit of parkour. Jumps over the wall to try and 1v5 as the ghost is still there, standing interference. Nobody from his team can actually help out with that, and disaster strikes. 27 minutes in.
He's going to try to zone out LirA. Could be isolated, could be killed, but it's a trade in for Moon. He takes it out, and now it's only Apollo who could steal. Hey, he gets a kill picked off, and the health bars are running a little bit low. Moon waiting for quick draw, does not have smite until just now, comes up, gets it, and takes down the Baron.
Yeah, shouldn't matter as long as they stand on the side of Baron where they can block the W from Jhin.
Yeah.
But here we go, and Envy grouping up inside the jungle where you have these walls to use the Rumble ultimate with, makes it a lot easier to land a good one. And again, they all dive into this comp that does so well if you're diving into it. And they have Seraph here, standing interference for FlyQuest as Ninja decides to jump in. That is Ghost Seraph. That is not your team captain there. And with that bit of a mistake there, giving over the eventual Baron. This one was a little bit more dicey, but Moon coming over has High's back with the extra burst damage. And Apollo also has LirA's back with the extra attack for at least the kill.
Nice guy Apollo has his teammates back. Everyone knows Apollo's a nice guy on the LCS. Helps get revenge for his teammate who died.
Such a good boy.
And we have now, I think, our first gold lead of the game now for FlyQuest, looking 600 gold up, prepared to take their next Drake, and a Mountain is wonderful late game. If they have trouble sieging turrets down, making them die faster is going to be useful.
And the thing is,
no contest.
Like we said, when they siege up at a turret, they are threatening dives. This is not kind of chip damage siege from these guys. This is Rumble ultimate comes down, dragons flying over, and they're just looking to steamroll through these turrets. So we'll see how this goes, because those can also be an opportunity if, FlyQuest really bumble it here. where EnVy would attempt a turnaround. Once FlyQuest are deep inside of a turret and taking turret shots, that would be really the last hope there for them. But they're just backing off here, and that is going to be an inhibitor traded for a split push on Ninja. Ninja, I think he's going to get that turret, but EnVy really decided that this was not the time to make their last stand, and they're going to look for a better opportunity when, you know, maybe Baron buff has dropped off, maybe FlyQuest don't have a Dragon Ghost. They felt like one inhibitor was a cost that they could hold for a little while in order to look for a better opportunity at making that stand.
We'll see if they can get that one later on. Of course, it was a 6 versus 4 with a Baron buff. That's a bit hard to play around.
Definitely rough.
I think, but yeah, Ninja split pushing was probably the best they could have gotten out of it, so they'll wait around.
And one inhibitor being down is manageable if there's no Baron on the map to pull you out of your base.
Pull you back out of your base, and
there's
it lines up about right.
The next dragon coming up is a Cloud Drake, so that's not a huge pull out of your base either. So I do like the call there for EnVy, you know, being a bit more conservative, going with the split push small trade instead of making their last stand at the mid turret.
Right.
Let's see if they actually switch gears here, though, and try and catch them by surprise, because they're setting up several different bush ganks.
Yeah, they're all playing in this top jungle right now, and we've seen them get these flank kills before, so there's a chance that FlyQuest face checks too much. Lemonnation sees LirA, says, hey guys, they're up here. They're up here, let's be safe. Hai is nowhere to be seen, by the way. He is bot lane, no TP, so theoretically, and he's been seen, he's killed some minions already. So I feel like EnVy are going to be looking at the 5v4, because the gold is basically equal still. They're just down the Baron buff, and even that's timing out eventually. Lemonnation dropped down a half HP, flashes away to get out of the rest of Nethergrass, misses the hook out though, and Lemonnation barely surviving with his shields. Courage finally popped, but LirA still wants in. Isolation's going to be there. One more spell will kill him. There we go. 1 for 0.
And it's very difficult for this full melee squad to disengage. I mean, yeah, they have the Rumble ultimate they can try and throw down to dissuade people, but you have to play a bit more back and a bit more respectfully if you're going for this split push with Zed on bottom side. Hai got 2 turrets, so, you know, technically FlyQuest got more gold out of it. I don't think FlyQuest were in a position where they did have to give up anything for those turrets, though. The first one was super low already, in that case, EnVy, I think, are actually okay with, again, getting a small traded back, because they're definitely going to get pushed around here. The problem is, scaling is not going to help them.
No.
There's a bunch of armor and 4 QSSs already built for FlyQuest. So the only one who can't QSS out of Hakuho's ult is Lemonnation, who, to be fair, has been the target over and over.
Yeah.
And has been on the receiving end of most of them, but
he's the least important person to kill.
Exactly. He's the least threatening on FlyQuest.
Ironic, he's a big, hulking Nautilus, but it's fine. You just kill him off and sinks back into the depths. They'll respawn later on, but that's FlyQuest, though, who have bought very well. 5 ninja heavy, 4 QSS. Like, I really have to give them a lot of props for the fact that they're building intelligently and they're counteracting all the plays that EnVy could have, and they're just grouping up, and nothing's stopping them.
Yeah, and also it's difficult for EnVy running the Kha'Zix and the Talon double assassins to really take down any of these juggernauts where they're everybody is semi-beefy on FlyQuest. And they're all going to be packed together in these team fights. So assassins, this is kind of the most difficult team fights for assassins to really play out, whereas FlyQuest with a bunch of bruisers here and AoE are just going to try and clump up, and you get plenty of splash damage easily. If Ninja and LirA even go in, doesn't matter if they're invisible, as splash damage is going to really take care of them and dissuade them from committing anywhere. So it's very difficult for EnVy to navigate any sort of team fight, and with FlyQuest now being able to remove those those isolated kills, those pickoffs that really got them their early leads, it's really becoming extremely difficult for EnVy to come up with any sort of game plan here on how they can actually win.
Sure. There are some things tipping their way. They've completed 3 Last Whispers now on their primary physical damage carries. And I'll use Hai as an example. Hai's got 140 armor right now. Zed has about 81 armor at level 17, so he's got like 60 bonus armor in his build. So the Last Whisper is penning like 28, Like, the last Whisperer is as good as both lethality items in Armor Pen, right? He's just doubled his lethality, essentially, as far as the build's concerned.
Not to mention, the Black Cleavers are going to reduce that for everybody on the team beforehand. So they do have plenty of shred. And the shredding through armor isn't necessarily that big of an issue anymore. It's more of there's going to be so much of this AoE splash damage being thrown around in these team fights. Even if they can focus on one person and take one person down, the counter damage there is going to be difficult for them to deal with. We'll see, though. Baron's coming up, and that might be the thing that actually spurs our next big conflict here. Everybody from EnVy is working around mid and trying to get vision for themselves so they don't have to face check into this bruiser bunch.
Hakuho had the pass up. He's okay with this one. Lemonnation nearly landed a pretty important Q. We'll see as the builds continue. FlyQuest pushing in the mid lane. They know that mid inhib is back up. They know the Drake and the Baron are available for the taking. And Mordekaiser, I mean, even if it's just, you say just a Cloud Drake, and I understand the point, but it's still a Mordekaiser Drake.
Spectral Drake.
Yeah, it's a Spectral Drake regardless. They've got all kinds of elements coming in here. So there we go. He's completed the rainbow and now into the front line. Lemonnation rooted up, and look at all the damage. Everything picked off the support tank, but let's look at the re-engage. It's a 4v5 that FlyQuest can still win because the Dragon makes up for the loss of Lemonnation.
They can't chase anyone down, though. They get separated here. EnVy are disengaging, but even with the extra kill, passes in.
Forces LirA to leap away, can't get the kill. Death Mark gonna pop and do about 300 damage. Doesn't mean too much here. FlyQuest replacing their dead Lemonnation with the ghost of a Drake, and looks like it will still be EnVy retreating, but a Drake for a kill, I feel like if the Drake doesn't do anything else, reasonable for EnVy.
Yeah. Debatable that one, I guess.
I mean, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Drakes are good, obviously.
Drakes are definitely good. EnVy showing that they can hit and run, but you could tell there's no way that they actually win that team fight, even with the extra kill if they stick around. So it becomes a question of, okay, so yeah, we can hit and run and maybe we can get a kill and escape with our lives at the cost of map control. Yeah. It's not just one kill for a Drake. It's one kill plus a Drake plus we have to leave everything else on the map. Like we have to actually leave and go back to base and heal at that point. And it's more about the game plan after that, which has been the area that FlyQuest kind of struggle with, right? Or I mean, EnVy have struggled with, right?
True.
They have been able to set their sights on kills and gold and be able to get, you know, goal #1 of getting a kill or something like that. It's been transitioning that into some sort of objective that actually leads down the path to a win that has been troublesome for them.
Yeah. Well, right now the teams are grouping around Baron, and well, how about the positioning? Ball's getting
chunk on the
ball. Actually, that's a good target to go for right here. Equalizer gets on a Ninja. They get the kill on the Hakuho. One on the Ninja as well. 2 for 0 so far. Looking for a third, and Seraph. He's tanky, but Guardian Angel is popped, and there's more chase in for Moon and double kill for the Graves player. And this is going to be a cleanup. That's the 4th kill in a row now. That could be game over now as FlyQuest can push right into the open mid lane.
Yeah, they don't even have to go for Baron. They can run straight up, take the inhibitor, and march into EnVy's base here. Does Altec have the Ninja Ghost? Let's see if the Ninja Ghost tanks the Nexus turrets here. Apollo's going to try and cut the wave, but there's people here.
There are, but he does kill off most of the minions. There's only one left alive, and
one is enough because the Ghost can tank.
It's enough to break it down here. The tanks are there, so it's probably going to be game over. Team EnVy with a fun team composition. The Mordekaiser Nautilus bottom lane, they suffer through EnVy's early game. They make it out into the mid, and with Drake control, they've taken it down. Game 1 to FlyQuest and Mordekaiser.
FlyQuest again. Pulling at some unorthodox picks, and this one was the perfect time to do it. It was their second round. They saw, you know, AD heavy squad from Team EnVy, and they go, you know what? Bunch of AoE bruisers. Let's just clump up. Everybody buy Ninja Tabbies. We should be able to comp win here.
Yeah, and I do love that, right? There's the individual player intelligence, like, ooh, this is a Ninja Tabby game, but also I feel like there was a certain degree of it was ThinkCard, it was Lemonnation, or it was somebody who's like, guys, it's all AD. First item Ninja Tabby, everybody. Lemonnation did first item Ninja Tabby. He had a Relic Shield and a Tabby. There's no Sight Stone. There's no like secondary whatever. It's just all armor tank items. Then like every single person built like QSS third. It was like, don't screw this up. Have both these items by 10 and 30 minutes. and then we'll just team fight them.
And
the plan worked.
You go into the game with that good of a plan and that good of a setup, even if you run into some hiccups, like bottom lane gets double killed. You know, they're diving down there, they get this first turret gold. Those things can be overcome, and that's when we show that, you know, team comps can be built to withstand, you know, a few thousand gold in the early game. Didn't matter quite as much. We do have some replays as we're gonna, you know, go over the post game here for that setup.
The final fight.
And we do have the final
I'll bring it up. We got a final battle. As you can watch this one, it's a 4-0 into the game ending.
And this is another case of, like we said, there's so much of the AoE on these bruisers. Where do all these assassins on Team Envy actually navigate? There's no safe space to go in and attack someone. They're either taking Flame Spitter, Rumble Ultimate, High's going in to assassinate the squishies, Moon is firing off giant shells of Graves damage here, and Ninja got almost annihilated instantly. LirA got maybe 1, maybe 2 Qs off in the whole fight. Even if you are, you know, ahead and you do have these lethality builds and you do have your last whispers that you're talking about and the shredding coming in from the Black Cleavers, there's no space for you to get in there. And Team FlyQuest come away with a well-deserved win.
And it does a lot of it come down to, we talked about the items from FlyQuest, but also it comes down to what you were talking about, which is just how classes fight. Like, by nature, a bruiser should beat an assassin. Otherwise, assassins just start broken, right? and the fact that, like, right, like, if Zed is balanced or you know, properly strong to kill a Jhin, like, he's not supposed to be able to also kill the Mordekaiser and the Nautilus and the Graves, who's, like, building a Ninja Tab and whatnot. And so you got a bunch of champions who are supposed to prey on isolated squishies, and no one's an isolated squishy. And that's just really important to bring up, that the way they played the game said you shouldn't have a way to beat us. It just shouldn't be possible. Regardless of the gold, if it's not 10,000 off, your champions won't stack up against ours. And that's how the game played.
And it's super fun to see a theory-crafted win actually play out. And even overcome some hiccups. Because while it is, you know, an advantaged comp here from FlyQuest, you don't instantly win the game. You have to stick to your tenets. You have to stick to your, all right, everybody, buy your Ninja Tab, you know, do your due diligence here. And, you know, not spread out. They did give up quite a few isolated kills where, you know, Balls was split pushing and Envy rightfully punished him. They were able to, you know, get over there, make use of their mobility on their assassins and get in for the quick kills and get out a couple times. But again, it's about our step from how can we gain a little bit of an advantage from killing people and accruing a small gold lead to where's the actual end of this pathway? Where does it lead to Nexus Explosion?
Leaving the map split open so that LirA can find those isolations and not get sucked into the 5v5s with the Mordekaiser and Nautilus. And that was kind of the misstep there, that high outshot called the LirA Seraph duo. So a great win for FlyQuest, but for now, we'll take a quick step away. And when we come back, though, it's going to be game 2 between FlyQuest and Team Envy, so don't go anywhere.